Good day. I was going to say morning, but maybe they're watching in the afternoon or afternoon.
Buenos dias.
Hi. Yeah.
Hola, bonjour.
There you go. Welcome back, everybody, to the James Watson podcast with Amanda Middleton.
James Watson.
And with Amanda Middleton and special guest James Watson.
Okay, great. Wow.
Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I'm joking. You can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, _James_Watson.
You really have to think about that every time you say it, don't you?
I just didn't get it to roll off the tongue. And
the
to be quite, I'm going to be honest with everybody here. I cringe still at that. It makes me go, oh, I'm that guy, this social media guy. Follow me, like, and you know,
please like me.
Yeah, the whole idea we do this was to add value to people. So when I get to that like, share, follow part, which you should do, by the way, I can still get a wee bit. Aye, still a wee bit awkward saying, oh, come and follow me on my Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube, go on Spotify, like, nearly says Shopify there.
Listen, I'll say it then. If you want some great info, follow the _James_Watson.
There you go. On
Instagram and TikTok. And I think you're the _James_Watson on YouTube.
Hopefully.
Or just James Watson.
Hopefully. One of the two. Try both.
Type it in, see what happens.
See this face.
But how are you? How's your week going?
My week's going great, yeah.
You don't really give me much there, do you?
There's nothing much going on. Like, it's a very...
Yeah, my week's been really good, Amanda. How about you?
Oh, you want me to ask? But it's called the James Watson podcast, so do you know why would anybody care? I'm not kidding now. I think in the last episode we spoke about, it was a lot about your bicep and fun any more biceps since we done the last one, no?
Not since the last
Still
one.
get one bicep.
Bernie's not appeared yet.
You did Bernie, so you've named your bicep.
Yeah.
Do you know my whole life, all the bodybuilders and all, boxers and all, and I know a lot of people that work out, never seen anybody name their biceps.
Where they're going wrong?
That was the thing you would imagine a guy doing.
That's where they're going wrong.
You know, my dad used to say, this is the floor and this is the hospital. That's what my dad used to say.
The floor in the hospital.
Yeah, if you're being cheeky to him, he's like, you want the floor or you want the hospital?
Stunning.
I want any dad.
None please, just a high five for me.
Yeah. No, okay. I don't know why it came out of my head, my dad. The floor in the hospital always made me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I
would rather get
at least
none
got
father.
the warning.
Yeah, no. I mean, he never gave me the floor or the hospital, but you know, I think I was a young guy.
Were you too quick to dodge it, were you?
No, I just never threw his fist at me. No, I think it was more as a young boy. It was quite a joke, you know. You want to, you know.
What do they call them as well? Like a knuckle sandwich? Is that what that's called?
A knuckle sandwich, maybe. Yeah.
Is that called a punch? Is that what a punch is called?
Yeah.
You can tell I grew up in a really rough area.
Where I grew up, no one ever called it a knuckle sandwich.
It was called the floor of the hospital. Stunning.
I
love it.
A knuckle sandwich. I don't know if I could take somebody seriously if they says that.
That's what it's called, or if I made that up.
Would you like a knuckle sandwich? It sounds like something you get at a polo match, which is exactly where you would be when two guys were fighting at a polo match. Oh, would you like a knuckle sandwich?
No. What was that voice?
I thought it was my best impression. If you play polo, sorry, but you know, it was my impression.
It was a really awful impression.
See, I was trying to do your accent.
That was nothing like me.
Hell.
Yeah. I realised that things in my accent.
James for the block.
Oh, that makes me cringe when you say that. That makes me cringe when you say you're from the block, and you also love to say you're from the hood.
Don't cut. I know it's not a block or the hood. I don't. It's just
hate when you say that. It makes me cringe.
Funny. It's just
James
funny.
From the hood. All right, what hood did you live in these days?
Not from the hood. Anyway.
Well, welcome back to you and to you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, cheers for watching.
Thanks. I meant you. Thanks for coming along today.
Thanks. Thank you, me. Thank you, me.
Do you have any idea what we're about to talk about?
Messed up if I didn't turn up right.
I feel like I could hold it down for an app.
Swap seats when you ask questions. You know, like you're doing TikTok, like, hey, and they go, hey.
I'll just have a good old chat with my people.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
They are your people, they're not mine.
At least you know it.
Right.
Do you know what we're talking about today?
We are talking about managing people.
Okay, yeah, kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? No, we're not.
Like getting the best out of people.
Yeah, getting the best out of them, managing, leading, inspiring.
Okay.
Whatever way we want to spit it.
Well, I guess the first question being, what does that mean to you then, getting the best out of people?
Oh, I mean, it's exactly what it says in the tin, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to me? That's like a sport.
Yeah.
If you look at the profile, it says high performance coach, right? It's exactly what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I love getting the best out of people. I love tapping into things with people that they don't even know exist. I get a kick out of that. It's progression. That's why it's like a sport. It's like most people walk about 55% of their potential. So getting the best out of people, it's like each person's a little project, a little jigsaw puzzle, or a little, whatever you want to look at. Like, it's quite fulfilling for me to get the best out of people. I enjoy that. I actually get more of a buzz now watching other people progress and get good than I do out myself, because for me it's quite normal to get better all the time, because that's just who I am. I'm always learning, I'm always trying new stuff, nearly killed myself in the gym trying to do new stuff. I'm always trying to evolve and evolving, but watching someone else get more at themselves than they ever got before in their whole entire life, and watch the confidence of, I didn't know I was this good or could be this good, that's a kick to me. Now, obviously, as a coach, I'm involved financially, and it means money, etc. as well. There's that little bit in the back, but I really take great joy in watching that with people now. It's like raising kids.
Yeah, I suppose you are raising these people, and
some 40-year-old kids, some 25-year-old kids, some 5-year-old. You know, getting the best and watching people progress is a bit of a kick. But as you always tell me, I love it, and it's like a sport to me.
Yeah,
like, how do I get this person to do more?
I feel like that is your favourite of all the different jobs you have, or different hats maybe, because that's probably a better way to look at it, all these different kind of roles you play in different companies and stuff. I would say from my perspective, just watching, I feel like from my perspective, your probably favourite bit would be the human element, is helping people develop, helping them evolve, the coaching people. I would say that's probably where you seem to be your happiest. Outside of the gym and at home with the family, and in the professional world, I feel like that seems to be your...
Yeah, my professional happiness is getting someone, not who's broken. Right? Yeah. I tend to deal with average people.
You're not a therapist.
No, I'm not. I'm not there to deal with broken people. I tend to take good people and make them unbelievable. That's what I like. Do
you say so yourself?
I do. I do. But as I say, anybody I'm coaching, I can't take credit for that, because I'm half the relationship. When someone comes to me and goes, your advice was amazing, I really, I accomplished all that stuff, and I'm like, I'm just a guy talking if you don't implement it. It's just me bumping my gums.
Yeah.
So I'm only one half of the relationship with that. So I'm going to add in that I like working with people and coaching them, but I like working with coachable people who would like to evolve and change, and I get a kick out. I get a kick out with that for them, because I know I remember talking to my wife a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I can't wait to see how good I am at 80. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, if this is how much I've learned before I'm 46, like, how much am I going to learn in the next 40 odd years? Like, I can't wait to see 8-year-old me, and I get a buzz at that. So I just know how much of a kick and confidence boost that I get when I have the wee moments where I get the best of myself and do something that maybe a year ago I didn't think even possible, I couldn't fathom in my head. So I like watching people get that wee realisation and that wee dopamine kick, because I think it makes them better at life, because every time that happens they get a bit more confident in themselves.
Yeah. So where do you feel like most leaders get that wrong then, in terms of like the phrase getting the best out of people, getting the most out of a person? Where do you feel like most leaders, or how do most leaders approach that wrongly?
They approach it like a manager, and they tell everybody. A lot of people, when they're let's just talk from a professional point of view. Mm-hmm. Where I see people make the mistake is when they're telling people to make changes or do better. When they say because, it usually finishes with something to do with the team, the company, the client, or the customer. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be really frank and honest. If you don't like bad language, do this and shut your ears. No one actually fucking cares about that stuff, really. Your average person doesn't care about the client. Your worker, not founder, worker. Your average worker couldn't give a monkey's about the team. Your average, and it's not because they're bad people, it's just because they're people.
Yeah.
Who do people care about most in the world? Unless they've got children, and that should override it, because it doesn't work with everybody, but it should override that. Who do we care about the most in the world? Ourselves. So where I see most leaders make mistakes when they're managing people, because people will only do things up to 100% their full potential if they choose to do it, not if they're told to do it. Therefore, because we're selfish by nature, then it has to benefit the person for them to then choose to make a decision. So you got to be a great leader of people. It's not got to be like, you've got to do this because I says so. You got to do it because of the client. Yes, all that stuff's true and you do, but if I can find a way of framing that where it benefits you and you getting better for you, then I get more chance of you actually doing your best and me getting the best out of you, because you ultimately make that decision. You know, did I ever care about, you know, what my manager wanted? Not really. I cared because I has to, because I wanted paid. So if you track most things back, it's a selfish, like somebody who's really obedient because they're told to do something sees the one in being obedient for themselves. Maybe they're scared of something or they want to get something, either way. But again, they're doing that because they're being obedient, because they're selfish, because of self-interest. But again, it's not because people are bad and don't care. It's just because they're people and their own self-interest should be the first things there.
I definitely think, and this is something we've actually spoken about already, I definitely think that, not to like the extremities, but I do think if you do your job well enough, people will care about all these other things. And if you do as a leader or as a coach or somebody who's managing these people or whatever, I think if you do your job well enough, I think people will develop a layer of care.
They will, but as a great leader, you got to be smart. Like, I'll make you care about that stuff because I'll frame it back to benefiting you. So if we take care of the clients just now, here's how it's going to benefit your career in 5 years' time with reputation. If we get in the habit of taking care of the customers and really caring about the customers, we get a bigger customer base. That means more bonuses for you. So again, even when I'm saying care about that stuff, to get the actual best, I want to bring it back to, you're doing this for this person because it's going to benefit you, because that's really where I'm going to get someone to do that extra little bit, because they're selfish by nature. And if it benefits them, they will do it more. An easy example of this I give all the time, I'm going to tell you a wee story. When I'm teaching this to leaders, I tell the same thing. I get the same scenario. You're 15 years old, you're in your prime, you're attracted to the same or opposite sex. You get up one morning, you're going to go to the house and you're going to go hang out with your friends. Your mum stops you or dad stops you at the front door and says you're not allowed to leave until you clean your room. Got to go meet your mates in 10 minutes. How are you cleaning your room?
I'm hiding everything under the bed and in the cupboards. And
Okay. Now, the next day, someone's coming over for study time. Someone you're attracted to and you like. How are you cleaning your room?
Pass the white glove test.
Right. So what's the difference? One benefited you and you chose to do it. It's the same job, you just do it better because there was more of a win for you. The other one you were told you had to do it. So again, same situation, room has to be clean, but you'll put in more effort if it benefits you. And the bigger the benefit you can paint, then the more effort you're going to get to someone. And another scenario with that is like your brain works on a cost and reward basis, right? And we always, when I'm trying to explain this to people, I'm like, would you crawl through broken glass for £1? Nope. And the higher up the price, the more pain people are willing to put up with. So the more I can paint a bigger win for someone, for their career or them personally, then the more I'll get out of that person without actually having to push them.
Yeah. So how much of it do you think, in terms of getting the best out of people, how much of it is psychological and how much of it is skill-based?
It's not psychological. If their head's in the right place, they'll learn the skill. It's easy to teach somebody skill. It's really difficult to get somebody to think a certain way. So I suppose if you're a leader of people or a CEO, if you're somebody who's in charge of people, I've studied more books and thought more about what goes on inside people's head than I have the practical part. Because if I get your head in the right space, everything else is easy. But if I give you the skill but your head's in the wrong place, it's pretty useless skill.
Yeah.
Like if Messi's good on a football but has a bad attitude, he's probably not going to play a good game. But the person with a good attitude with less skill will probably play a better game. So I think it's all cycle. It's a little bit. That's why I think it's like a sport with people. Because I'm like, all right, how do I get you to think and feel a certain way? Because if I get you to think and feel a certain way, your thoughts will lead to, an action, and the action will get the results. But because everything starts in the brain, that's the catalyst. So I think, obviously you need skill for things. You do need that. But if I've got you where you want to give something everything because you know it benefits you, then you'll also be willing to do what it takes, which means it's very easy to teach you skill.
How would you say leaders then normally get that wrong then? Do they put too much focus on the skill then and not as much as the...
Yeah, they don't put stuff in the headspace.
Yeah.
I don't like it's... How do you get people to do good? You make them feel good. Like, it's just, everything's in our heads. Like, how we see the world is in our head. It's perception, it's opinion, it's emotion, it's all this different stuff. So as a leader of people, if I make people feel a certain way and think a certain way, and I just think my life's a lot easier. Whereas someone, again, if I can evidently see someone's not in the right headspace and I'm trying to teach them something. Actually, I was teaching someone conversations this morning, and I was teaching them how to pull someone up without them being without it becoming confrontational. I'm like, if you go in with an accusation and you accuse someone of something, they'll automatically get defensive. And then when that person comes defensive, everything you say after that's not going to sit well. It won't digest, they'll argue, they'll internally fight what you're saying. So you've got to be really smart about how you put that information across, because if what's going on inside their head isn't correct at that time, then they won't be open to making the changes that you're asking them to make. So you got to think about what goes on inside someone's head when you're doing anything with them.
So how do you, I guess, learn to get the best out of a person, or what sort of things should you pay attention to get the best out? So let's use me for an example.
Yep.
If you are my coach or you're trying to get the best out of me, what are the things that you should pay attention to about me in order for that to happen?
I always learn to get a read on how you walk in the morning and can spot differences. Can see when you're good, see when you're bad. That's it. You learn how to read people, I suppose, like a good poker player, and micro expressions. Like little lines here, little lines in the head, red cheeks, frustration, glaze in the eye, tired. I knew you were tired on Monday, right? You came in on Monday and I'm like, I'm like, good night.
You had a good weekend.
Yeah, you had a good weekend, because you never do. And I'm like, because I could just see, I'm paying attention. You didn't say anything or do anything. So to the untrained eye, you were fine. But to me, I'm like...
The pictures of me drinking Guinness didn't give it away, no?
But we had one Guinness. I didn't think, she tried her first Guinness just so... But
don't like it.
But I think you've just got to... One, you've got to spend enough time with people. Two, you've got to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Because if you don't pay attention... I never really... When I'm getting to know somebody, I try and see past what they're saying and try to learn how to read the person. Because you say one thing and your body will tell me different. Like, your eyes and body will tell me loads of things about you. You don't need to... So learn to read people before they speak. And it's not verbal cues. Like, sometimes you give verbal cues. So if I walked in, a verbal cue when you were tired would be... then I know you're tired, but you've never done that. You hide it quite well, but I'm like... I could just tell by your eyes you were sleepy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you got to learn to get that. I always say good morning to people. I always ask how people are in the morning, and a lot of people think I'm just being lovely. I'm not engaging where you're at. Let's say, for instance, I have to have a harsh conversation with you for whatever reason. Again, I got to pick my moment, right? Yeah. And I got to qualify whether they're in the right space for this or not. So if we walk in the morning, like, how are you this morning? And you're like, it's been a tough morning. And I'm like, maybe this is not the best time to have that conversation. And so... For me, I read people in the morning. I get a feel for their mood, and if you get to know people properly, and you watch people enough, you in sales we call it buying and non-buying signs, right? But I suppose it's what security's taught to do in an airport and watch other stuff. So get good at reading micro expressions, eyes. Get good at reading the face, body language when somebody walks in the door. You know, if somebody usually walks in the door with their head up, like morning, and they walk in the door and go morning.
Yeah. And how much of it is getting to know a person's personality? Like, how much of it is it getting to know what makes them tick, or how to push them, or how to kind of poke that bear sort of thing. Like, tell me I can't do something and watch me go, that sort of thing. But you know that. So whenever you're trying to get me to go to a different level, that is your go-to saying. But I think you need to get to know a person for all that sort of stuff. So how much is a relationship building stage important for that?
I'm going to explain relationship building here first for anybody watching this, because a lot of people think relationship building is we go get drunk together and we're friends.
Yeah.
There's a difference between personal relationship and business relationship. You know, I was coaching someone, and hopefully he doesn't mind me talking about this, because the other week, and he was talking about how he's dealing with somebody, and it was quite difficult, and he didn't know how to deal with them properly, and I'm like, what's the person had kids, and I'm like, what's their kid's name? He's like, I just looked at me and I'm like, you worked with this person for 6 months, you never bothered to ask the kids' names, or you don't start the day by saying, how's your kids? Yeah. Building a relationship is easy. It's just paying attention to people, getting to know them a little bit, right? So you know the person's situation, but didn't know the details. So it's not being friends with people, which is what I think a lot of people believe. When they hear this, build a relationship with your people, like, oh, we have to be mates and hang out. Yeah. No. Some of my best business relationships were people I never hung out with personally. Some of my best personal relationships are people I'd never hang about with.
Never do business with.
So there's personal relationships, and then there's professional relationships. And I think it's really key to get to know people. I'll explain why. People are 3 different versions of themselves. People are public self, private self, and secret self. And so there's 3 layers to people. Public self is who people think they have to be in certain environments. So look at that work face that we put on.
Yeah.
That surface level crap, you'll walk about a lot of the time telling me if that's the relationship I've got and I don't get past that to kind of who you actually are in private, and you don't trust me enough or respect me enough, or we're not close enough for you to be that person, it's really hard to manage you, because if you're giving me a false narrative and you're being false, then I'll read false problems. So therefore I can't really get the best out you all the time. We call it hotspots, right?
Yeah.
So I got to spend time with people just to get to know them. There's a couple of books I would read, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Personality Plus. Personality Plus was awesome. It helped me understand different personality types. It's easy to manage somebody who's like me because I know what buttons to push.
Yeah.
So I suppose just study people, spend time with people. I listen a lot when people talk. I watch a lot when people talk. Like when I build relationships, I just ask questions, you talk, and I try and hear past the surface level stuff you're telling me until I peel past it. So I just need to get to know people well enough so I kind of get to know who they are, how they like things, and what they want, to be fair. Because if let's say you're in a job because you just want to get paid on Friday, and someone's in a job because they want to run the company one day, I'm going to deal with you both very differently.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to push you as hard because you don't want it, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't spend time with people, you won't know likes, dislikes, what gets them going. Again, we call that hotspots. A lot of people are like, oh, what motivates you? And you get surface level answers like, oh, I love serving customers. And, when someone says that, I'm like, you did not wake up the morning going, I hope I can serve customers today.
Serve a customer.
No, I just want to really get to know what makes you excited. What would make you... I've asked you this lots, like what would excite you about your job? Like what could we do to make sure you were turning up happy? But if you don't have the right relationship where you feel like you can be yourself and honest with me, you're just going to give me surface level crap.
Yeah.
And therefore I'm never going to going back to that, getting the best out you. I'm never going to get the best out you but if we operate in a really honest, I don't need to know secret you. That's too far. That's when it becomes personal. I don't need to know what you do at the weekend. Like again, there's a line and professionalism in work, which is I want to get to know private you. So I want to get to know the you that's in the house when you're hanging about with your mum and dad or your boyfriend. That real version of you, because that's really who you are.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything about secret you because that's a bit too much.
Yeah. So when you're trying to get the most out of a person, but also trying to get the most out of a team, can you get the most out of a team at once, or do you have to just deal with each person as an individual and get the most out of a individual, but do that across the board? Because I think surely if you deal with everyone in the same way, that's a really quick way to fail then.
I'm a divide and conquer kind of manager. Like I do that. I'd always look at football managers, so team managers. If you take the best managers in football, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, Alex Ferguson, any good one, you'll see they've all got something in common, and it's they call it player management. which is getting the best of each individual person. They have the different relationship with each player, and they're just good at, getting the best out of them. And then as long as people have got a common goal, they'll work as a team. Again, there's got to be for people to work well as a team, there has to be a common goal, because really you don't care about me and I don't care about you, and that's we're there for ourselves. We don't join a team for somebody else. We join a team for our own reasons. So getting people together to work as a team is making sure people have a common goal and a common win. So it benefits me to help you, and it benefits you to help me, because we're a team and we're aiming towards the same goal. But I would definitely say that the best people at building and running teams aren't the people that are good at getting the team going. They're the people that can get the best at each individual player and create a common vision or a common goal or a common win for all those people to decide. I'm going to say to decide to actually work together and use each other.
So how do you know when someone's at their best then? How do you know somebody is operating at their best? Because my best will be different to your best, which will be different to somebody else's best. Like, everyone's best is different. How do you know when they are at their best?
It's called flow state in the zone. It's just when they're feeling a little bit of pressure. You can see they're a little bit strained, a little bit tired, but they're excited and they're loving it, and they just seem to be winning, and everything they do just seems to go well. That's when you know you've hit someone's potential. That's when you know they're flying, right? Doesn't mean that when you say they're their best, my brain automatically went to, I don't think everybody ever is. They're the best version of themselves that they can be then. But then I start to think, all right, if this is your top line or your baseline, how do I increase that? It's like, how much money is enough money? Like, it's just, there always can be more. So you can always get more out of people. But when someone's in a flow state, as in, I first of all have to find out what people are capable of doing. Then I know where it is, right? So I push people and keep pushing people to just before the break, and I know that's what their best version of themselves is.
Yeah.
Then I have to get you to that just break point and get you somehow to play about that just break point whilst being motivated and happy and excited. Then I know you're hitting your full potential. Because the first time you get to, you'll be really stressed. So it's just like, it's like the line. I was explaining this to my wife the other day about sports. I'm like, I can't remember the discussion we were talking about. And she says something to me about you just like pushing boundaries, right? And I'm like, well, is that no life? Find out what the line is before it becomes something you shouldn't do or bad, and then push the boundary. Like, try and move the line if I can. Like, but I do that with people too. I'm like, where's the line? So when I bring people in and start coaching, I'm going to push to just the sweet spot where you're just about to break, and then go, there's the most that person's capable of. How do I get that to then be a comfortable spot for them? And then I've got them to the best I know they're capable of. And then I'm like, all right, how do I make their best better now? How do we then increase that? So that's no. When someone's pushing themselves mentally and physically, and I can see that the slightest bit of weight would break them, that's the most effort they'll give. And then when they're getting the results, but they're still not folding, that means they're in, it's called a flow state, or in the zone if you watch sport.
Yeah. So how can you tell then, and how can you identify when it is somebody just complying and someone doing enough because you're pushing them and they're complying to what you're trying to achieve with them, versus somebody who actually really does want to perform and really does want to be their best version?
I stop pushing. If I pull myself out the equation and they continue on that path, then it's them. And if I pull myself away from the scenario and they fall flat, it was me, it wasn't them. They're not getting the full potential, I'm pushing them towards it. So there's a difference. So I just pull myself away. So for me, that's how I judge myself. I don't judge myself for what people are doing when I'm involved. I judge them when I step away, and I judge my ability to get the best out of people, because there's a difference between getting the best out of somebody because I'm getting the best out of them and somebody getting the best out of themselves. So it's easy, you just test that. It's like, let me not say something for a day and see what happens. And then if they flop, I know it's still not them, it's still me. So I've got some work to do to make them want to do it a little bit more. So, but that's it.
So let's have a scenario where somebody isn't where you feel like they should be or could be, or, at a point where you're trying to get them. How do you know if it's a matter of they can't perform or they don't want to? like they won't. So they either they can't or they won't. How do you figure out which one? Is it beyond their capabilities, or is it just not something that they care for?
I don't mind if it's beyond capabilities. There's only two reasons people don't perform. It's will or skill. So for me, you can always teach skill if the will's there. So even if it's above what they're capable of, then we have to go back to the training part, because I think it's just measured on effort.
Yeah.
Like I can never, ever, ever get upset at someone for trying and failing. Like as long as, and the thing I tell people when I'm trying to teach them how to get the best at themselves is, can you physically look in the mirror and tell yourself you gave it everything? If the answer's yes, then it's just a skill issue. Now you just need to learn how to be better, and that's fine. But it takes time to get to the point where you can look in the mirror and say, I could give it everything, because learning how to give it everything and have that will all the time takes time. So I think just someone being able to look you in the eye and tell that, it gets back to the honest relationship. Like when I'm coaching people, I allow them to be honest and I make them feel comfortable telling me the truth. So it tends to be after I've spent time with somebody, a long enough time one-on-one, they'll admit straight away, I just couldn't be bothered or couldn't do it. But then I've got to train a bit, try and figure out how to get the person to have a wee bit more will and make them be bothered about it. But if it's a skill issue and they do it, then...
And how can you tell if you're the issue, if you are the issue, if you as the leader or you are the person that's trying to push someone? How or what are things you can look for, key signs, or what are things you can do to determine, are you the problem or is it the individual that's the problem? Because I think sometimes it might be the person that's coaching someone or pushing them.
Sometimes we're the blocker, yeah. But we're the blocker for a couple of different reasons. Some people are the blocker because they don't set a good enough example in what they're trying to teach. Therefore, the person doesn't listen because everybody hates hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first reason. And the second reason, remember, you're a coach. Being a coach doesn't necessarily mean I'm always going to coach everybody. My job is to make sure you get to where you need to go. And sometimes that's me being smart and recognising that I'm maybe not the best person to give you this advice.
Yeah.
It might be a personality thing. It might be a style thing. It might be a relationship thing. So I just test that. I find somebody else who's as good as me. I always tell people to go speak to some other people as well. But again, my job as coach is to point in the right direction. So sometimes I'll coach somebody, but it's not me doing the one-on-one coaching, but I'm coaching them who to go talk to. So just test that. You get someone else to tell them the same thing and see if the information sits better. And if it sits better, I'm like, sugar, the way I'm explaining this is the problem. So why don't... And that's using your resources.
Yeah.
I have a network of people, and I've been quite fortunate to have a network of people that I can send people to, because sometimes it's just a personality clash. Something as simple as, even though someone's under me or picked me as a coach doesn't necessarily mean the way I explain things is going to digest properly with them, or my style is going to sit well. So I'm trying to expose people to other styles. I'm trying to expose people to other personalities. And then when I get them to talk to them, if I hear they're way more excited. So for instance, if I had John and I told John something that didn't seem like it was getting through.
Yeah.
And I'm like, go speak to Amanda, ask Amanda that. And they come back and went, oh my God, I loved Amanda's answer. I now know that you're probably better standards. Yeah. My job as a coach is then I just start sending them to you all the time.
Yeah.
And I do that with people all the time as a coach. I'm like, nah, go ask this person, go ask that. Why don't you go ask Amanda that question?
Yeah.
It's my job as coach, again, is to find the quickest way to get you from A to B. So if talking to someone else is that, then I'm still doing my job.
So would you ever question your motivation as a coach?
What do you mean?
Because I think sometimes, like, why are you pushing this person, or why do you want to get the most out of this person? Sometimes it might be because you want to make more money from them, or it serves your goals more to push them. I think to be a good coach, I think you'd need to be somewhat selfless and make sure that person's goals are kind of at the core of it. Because I think sometimes a coach can do it from the wrong angle and have the wrong motivational drive behind them wanting to achieve what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah, you can't do it from a selfish point of view. You look. Those people won't. We call it being locked into you.
Yeah.
They'll see you as more a manager than a leader. A leader is someone that people choose to follow, right?
Yeah.
Or should choose to follow for that instance. Sometimes you get stuck with them, but that won't last long. You've got to be. But it's still going to work in my favour. If I help people under me accomplish their goals, it's going to contribute towards my goals in some way. It might not contribute, if I get someone who's not ambitious, but my goal's to grow, it doesn't mean they can't play a part. It just means that I need more people like that if that makes some sense. Like, you don't have to be, you can't be selfish when you're getting people to do stuff. It has to be all about them.
Mm-hmm.
I slept
yourself in the eye there.
Twice today.
Yeah. And I think the question to end on then is, what are some unfortunate or uncomfortable realities that people are going to need to accept? If you're coaching people, pushing people, trying to get the best out of them, what are some realities that you're going to have to accept along the way?
Can I elaborate a little bit on the last question first before we do this question?
Of course you can.
Like, there's another reason that people don't send people to other coaches, and it's ego. I see a lot of people who could get their people to go speak to someone else, but they know they get belittled if someone else gives their people, their manager or their team. I say that's because it's like sometimes people act like someone's like Amanda's my person.
Yeah.
I pay Amanda's wages, she's mine, so I don't want you to go talk to somebody because it might show a weakness in me, because I know that person's better than me at that part, but then you'll see how shit I am. Mm-hmm. So sometimes people are really selfish at using their resources and getting people the right information, and that's why they want to teach all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're scared that them looking shit, and that's an ego thing. Or they know they're not a good example or something, and they know if you go talk to that person, they'll find out that you're actually not good at all the shit you're talking about.
Yeah.
It is quite exposing. So there's a lot of coaches out there who hold people back, even if they consciously don't think it, they subconsciously don't say, and this is where I have no ego. I'm like, this person's way better at explaining that than me, so don't talk to me. And I don't care if they come back and go, oh my God, they're the best coach ever, they're brilliant, I love their information. I'm like, great, talk to them. Whereas most people are scared of that because they're like, oh no, what if that person looks up to them more than they look up to me? And my ego's so hurting. So that I see a lot of people make that mistake as well. But I'm the first to go, I'm not the person. It's like when people talk to me about being sensible with money, and like, I want to be sensible and invest. I'm like, listen, if you want to learn how to spend money, I'm your guy. You want to learn how to be sensible, go talk to this person there, because I'm, you want to learn how to buy a nice car or watch, I'm your guy. But being sensible is probably not a thing I would stick to. But I'm honest with people, because as a coach, you can't be great at every part of what you're trying to coach, right? If you look at sports people, there's the coach, then there's the nutritionalist, then there's the psychologist, there's the massage therapist, there's the speed coach, there's the strength coach, there's the skill coach, and the coach's job is to make sure you go to the right person for the right information. But a lot of people are like, let me teach people everything because they want to feed their ego. It's like, I train people. I'm like, my job is to get you good, and if that means talking to me, then fine, I'm still doing my job. So, sorry, I just had to elaborate on that a little bit more.
I love it. I think that's very valuable information.
I feel quite passionate about that part in case you didn't.
To do.
See, a lot of people keep their people away from talking to other people because they're scared they're looking bad.
Yeah.
And that's selfish.
Oh, yeah. And detrimenting yourself in the end, because someone's not going to get to where they can be as quick as possible.
They all fail eventually.
Yeah.
They all fail.
100%.
They all fail. Sorry, the other question was?
What uncomfortable, or what are the realities, uncomfortable truths that people are going to need to accept along the way when they're trying to coach people, get the most out of individuals?
You're going to fuck it up. Excuse my Italian. Thought I'd leave the French alone for 2 minutes, right? We always say French, and I don't think it's very fair in French people. Italians swell
formally apologise to you, France.
Formally apologise, Macron. Anyway, so, sorry, we really went a wee side quest there. My brain went, you're going to mess it up. Unfortunately, when you're learning how to be a good coach of people, there's going to be some casualties, and there's going to be some casualties due to your lack of experience or due to your abilities at that time. There's loads of people that I wish I could re-coach again, because I look back and I go, shit, I really messed that person up. I get them bad advice. But at the time, I only knew what I knew, and I'd done the best I could at that time. But I look back at myself even a year ago, and I'm like, I was a terrible coach.
Yeah.
And I know I wasn't, but who I am now versus that person, if you measured both, you're like, well, this person's way better, which is good. That's it. Another tough reality when you're coaching people is no one's going to listen to a hypocrite.
Yeah.
They're not. No one's... people respect actions and people respect results, and that is the end of the conversation. And when I'm explaining this to leaders or new coaches, and I'm like, if you think you get someone's respect because you have a badge on or you have all these accomplishments or you drive a Ferrari, nobody cares. No one gives a shit. And I explain this, like, we always do this in a room full of people. I'll say, put your hands up if you have a mum. And they're like, all right, you're born from, all right, great. Put your hands up if your mum had to carry you in their belly. And they'll put their hands up. And I'm like, all right, your mum had to go through some sort of labour, cut you out. Or like, I've been in both, I've seen them both, and they're not nice. And put your hands up if your mum sacrificed her career at age. Great. Put your hands up if you disrespected your mum. There's never a hand never goes up.
Yeah.
Put your hand up if you've ever done the opposite of what that person told you. Hand. I'm like, all right. So if the person who went through all the pain to bring you into the world was willing to sacrifice her life to make sure you had a good one, can't get your respect, what chance have I got?
Yeah.
I've got to earn that. And that's a really harsh reality for people who are in management roles, founder roles. They're like, I'm the founder, I'm the manager, I'm the leader. It's a title. They wear the badge with pride and like, you should listen to me. The person's actually really not going to listen to you. And if they do listen to you, it's because they have to. It's not because they want to. So for me, if you're a leader, you're in show 24/7, and I unfortunately have to be a shining example of whatever I'm going to teach people, and that's the difficult part, because there's a difference between a manager and a leader, and somebody who's a leader in my eyes is someone who people choose to follow, but I'm going to choose to follow the person that I respect the most and I trust the most, and I'm going to respect and trust the person who's a good example of what they're teaching me. If my mate with a six-pack is giving me health advice, and my other mate who used to have a six-pack but doesn't now gives me advice, I'm going to listen more to the person with the six. It's just it's my natural instinct logic. To take. And so just understanding the people you're managed, because leading people is really difficult, and getting people to listen is really difficult. But when people aren't listening, I don't go, that person's not listening. I'm like, if I gave them a reason to listen. I had a conversation with a coach this morning. He's like, this person's doing this wrong. What conversation should I have? And my first question is always, have they seen you do that wrong? And he's like, I'm like, you can't have a conversation, because it's not going to accept it because they've seen you do it. So instead, you're going to have to talk to somebody who has a shining example of that. I can use my resources, because I know you won't take it in for me, because you know fine well I don't do it. So that's a harsh truth about coaching people. I think making everything about them and know you, being a great example, learning that you don't get respect unless you earn it, regardless of how high up the food chain you are. I think they're harsh realities I see all the time. Yeah. They're like, but they should listen. But why? And you're only as good as your last game. So no one cares what you accomplished last year. They only care about what you accomplished this year. You're yesterday's news.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah. That was stunning. I feel like you really led me there to get the most out of myself in that episode. So thank you so much.
It's about time you done something.
Yeah, once in a while.
Don't worry, it's coming. It's coming.
We had a wonderful time.
Yeah, we did a great time.
Thank you for that. I think that was a really great episode. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, listening all the way to the end if you're still here.
Like, share, follow, jump over, follow us on Instagram, TikTok,
wait
LinkedIn.
For the question anymore.
Thought I'd jump in enthusiastically this time, Press the buttons, follow,
lead the way.
Share with your mates. Talk about that really good-looking, short Scottish guy that gives you good advice,
Maybe they don't know you're short.
I'm short, 5'7", just going to get out of there, right? Because I don't want anybody disappointed if they see me in the street and go, oh, you're awful short. You look much bigger on your podcast. Sure. Not big at all.
Okay. So what are you in all those things? Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, what are you? Who are you?
_James_Watson everywhere.
Yes, you'll get content twice a day at the minute, so enjoy that.
There's a lot of James Watson, so we had to put some underscores in there.
Yeah. We'll buy back the James Watson
I've thought about it many times. I'm like, how much do you think it would take to let me get it? And just so I could say... James Watson. No, that because it sounds very egotistical. I'm like that, and I didn't want that just so I'd rather just say James Watson.
Yeah.
But my name's common as muck, so...
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get it one day. But thank you so much for joining us. I hope everyone had a great time. If anyone has any requests for topics that we could talk about...
Yeah, sure.
We'll take requests.
We're always open. If you have specific questions you'd like us to answer on the podcast about managing people, sales, high performance, get the best of yourself, dealing with your head... Yeah, we can answer. Yeah.
DM you. I don't know how they're going to tell you this, but figure it out. Use your initiative. Get the message to us somehow.
Yeah, if you can't figure out in this day and age how to get a message to us, then we need to talk about some other stuff.
Yeah, but thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.